Have you ever met someone who always seems to say exactly what they mean, with no hesitation, no fluff, and no hidden agenda? Someone who doesn't waste words, but when they do speak, their words carry weight. If so, there's a good chance that person is a Capricorn. Capricorns are one of the most honest and sincere signs of the zodiac, but not in an impulsive, blurted out kind of way. Unlike Aries, who speaks before thinking, or Sagittarius, who is brutally direct just for the sake of it, Capricorn's honesty is different. It's intentional, it's measured, and above all, it's grounded in reality. For them, honesty isn't about being blunt or cutting people down. It's about efficiency. A Capricorn sees no point in beating around the bush. If something needs to be said, they say it. If a problem needs solving, they get straight to the solution. They believe truth is the fastest route to clarity, and clarity is what they thrive on. But this doesn't mean Capricorns are cold or harsh. In fact, their honesty comes from a deep sense of responsibility. They feel a duty to tell the truth, especially when it can help someone grow or prevent unnecessary mistakes. They are the type of friend, partner, or co-worker who will tell you what you need to hear, not just what you want to hear. And while that might sting in the moment, their honesty is almost always followed by wisdom. Capricorns don't see honesty as an option. It's a way of life. And if you ask them why they are so straightforward, they'll likely give you a simple answer, because anything else is a waste of time. But what exactly makes Capricorns so devoted to honesty? Let's dive into the first 5 reasons that make them one of the most sincere signs in the zodiac. If there's one thing Capricorns hold sacred, it's integrity. They don't just speak the truth because it's convenient. They do it because it's the foundation of their character. For them, honesty isn't about proving a point or getting the last word. It's about being someone who can be trusted, respected, and relied upon. Let's take a closer look at the first 5 reasons why Capricorns are so deeply sincere. Number 1, they believe in doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. Capricorns don't just practice honesty in public or when it benefits them. Their integrity runs so deep that they tell the truth even when no one is looking, even when no one would ever find out if they lied. This is because they live by a strict personal code, one that prioritizes being morally upright over taking the easy way out. This isn't about being perfect. Capricorns know that everyone makes mistakes, but what sets them apart is their belief that owning up to your mistakes is more respectable than covering them up. They'd rather admit they were wrong and take responsibility than pretend they never messed up, because at the end of the day, they believe truth always wins. Number 2, they see honesty as a sign of strength, not weakness. Some people think that being honest, especially when the truth is uncomfortable, makes them vulnerable. They worry that admitting the truth will expose them, make them look bad, or give others an advantage over them. But Capricorns see it the opposite way. To them, honesty is a power move. It shows confidence. It shows that you aren't afraid of reality, that you don't need to hide behind deception. They admire people who can say, yes, this is how things are. This is what I've done. This is where I stand. That kind of transparency commands respect. Because of this, Capricorns tend to be drawn to people who are just as honest as they are. They respect those who are real, even when the truth is tough to hear. They can handle bluntness as long as it's rooted in sincerity. And if they see someone dodging the truth or twisting words, they will immediately lose interest. Number 3, they want to be respected, not just liked. A lot of people are afraid of honesty because they want to be liked. They fear that if they say what they really think, if they refuse to go along with what everyone else is saying, they'll be rejected. Capricorns, they don't care about that. Of course, they don't want to make enemies. They're not out here looking to offend people for fun. But when faced with a choice between being honest and being popular, they will always choose honesty. Why? Because they believe respect lasts longer than temporary approval. They know that people might not always like hearing the truth, but in the long run, they'll appreciate someone who is real. Capricorns understand that you can't control how others feel about you, but you can control how you carry yourself. And they'd rather be someone people trust than someone who is just liked for the moment. Number 4, they hate dishonesty because it wastes time and energy. If there's one thing Capricorns despise, it's wasted time. They are always thinking ahead, planning their next move, and working toward their goals. And nothing slows down progress more than deception. Lies complicate things. They create confusion, misunderstanding, and unnecessary back and forth. Capricorns prefer directness. They want to know exactly where things stand so they can deal with the situation and move on. This is why they are known for being incredibly efficient communicators. When they speak, they get straight to the point. They don't sugarcoat things. They don't beat around the bush. And they certainly don't play games. They apply this same philosophy to the people they surround themselves with. If someone is always dodging the truth, creating drama, or being unclear, a Capricorn will quickly lose patience. They value straight talk, and they expect the same in return. Number 5, they believe lies create chaos, and Capricorns prefer stability. At their core, Capricorns crave stability. They like things to be structured, organized, and predictable. Lies? They destroy all of that. Dishonesty introduces uncertainty. If you don't know whether someone is telling the truth, how can you trust them? If people constantly twist their words, how can you rely on what they say? Capricorns don't have time for that. They need to know where they stand in every situation, and honesty is the only way to achieve that. This is why they have little patience for people who constantly shift their stories or refuse to be upfront. Capricorns know that no one is perfect, but they firmly believe that the truth, even when it's uncomfortable, is always better than a comforting lie. Because at least with the truth, you know what you're dealing with. And that's what makes Capricorns such powerful and reliable individuals. They aren't just honest for the sake of it. They're honest because they understand that truth is the foundation of everything. Capricorns don't just value honesty because it's the right thing to do. They value it because it makes sense. For them, truth is the fastest and most effective way to get things done. They aren't the type to waste time sugarcoating a situation or pretending things are better than they are. Instead, they believe in facing reality head-on, dealing with the facts, and moving forward with a clear, practical approach. Unlike some signs that get caught up in emotions or wishful thinking, Capricorns are deeply logical. They don't just say things to make others feel good. They say what needs to be said to solve problems and make progress. And that's exactly what makes their honesty so powerful. Number 6, they see the truth as the fastest way to solve a problem. For Capricorns, efficiency is everything. They don't like wasting time, whether it's on unnecessary conversations, emotional confusion, or beating around the bush. If there's an issue, they want to address it immediately, figure out the best solution, and move forward. This is why they're so direct in their communication. If something isn't working, they'll say it. If someone is making a mistake, they'll point it out. They're not doing this to be harsh. They just know that pretending everything is fine won't fix the problem. Capricorns believe that facing reality is the only way to improve it. Number 7, they hate overcomplicating things with unnecessary words. Some people talk in circles, trying to soften the truth or make a situation seem less serious than it is. Capricorns, they don't have patience for that. When they speak, they get straight to the point. They choose their words carefully, making sure everything they say is relevant and necessary. They're not the type to ramble or say things just for the sake of it. If a Capricorn gives you advice, you can be sure that every word was carefully considered and meant to be useful. This is also why they're so good at cutting through nonsense. If someone is trying to manipulate them with fake flattery, vague excuses, or half-truths, a Capricorn will see right through it. They prefer conversations that are clear, direct, and productive, not ones that are full of empty words. Number 8, they prefer logic over emotions when making decisions. Capricorns understand the power of emotions, but when it comes to making decisions, they rely on logic first. They believe that feelings can sometimes cloud judgment and lead to bad choices, whereas facts and rational thinking will always lead to the best outcome. This is another reason why they value honesty so much. Lies, exaggerations, and emotional manipulation only create confusion. Capricorns want clarity, and the only way to get that is through truth. They don't let emotions dictate their actions, and they expect the same from others. This doesn't mean Capricorns are cold-hearted. On the contrary, they care deeply about the people in their lives. But when making a tough decision, They will always put logic before feelings, even if it means telling someone a truth they don't want to hear. Number 9, they always think about the long-term impact of their words. Some people blurt out whatever they are feeling in the moment without thinking about the consequences. Capricorns, they are much more calculated than that. Before they speak, they consider the bigger picture. They ask themselves, will this help solve the problem? Will this create unnecessary conflict? Will this make things better in the long run? If the answer is yes, they'll say it. If not, they'll keep quiet. This is why their honesty is so trusted. They don't just say things impulsively. They think about how their words will affect the situation, the people involved, and the future. This also means they rarely say things they don't mean. A Capricorn won't make empty promises or tell you something just to make you feel better. If they say it, it's because they truly believe it's the right thing to say. Number 10, they don't believe in emotional manipulation. Honesty is more effective. Some people use guilt, exaggeration, or indirect communication to get what they want. Capricorns, they see right through that. They believe that honesty is the strongest and most effective way to communicate. If they need something, they'll ask for it. If they disagree, they'll say so. They won't try to manipulate or pressure people into doing things. They'll simply state the facts and let the truth do the work. This makes them some of the most straightforward and trustworthy people in the zodiac. You never have to wonder what a Capricorn is really thinking, because they'll tell you. And while their honesty can sometimes be a little blunt, it always comes from a place of clarity and purpose. If there's one thing a Capricorn absolutely cannot stand, it's fake people. They don't have the time or energy to deal with dishonesty, whether it comes in the form of lies, exaggerated stories, or superficial relationships. To them, sincerity is everything, and if someone can't be real, they don't belong in a Capricorn's life. Capricorns are naturally good judges of character. They have a sharp eye for spotting insincerity, and once they sense someone isn't being genuine, they immediately lose respect for them. They won't necessarily call the person out or cause drama. Capricorns aren't impulsive like that. Instead, they'll simply distance themselves. They believe that actions speak louder than words, and if someone shows them they can't be trusted, Capricorn won't waste time trying to fix it. But what exactly makes them so intolerant of fake people? Here are 5 reasons why Capricorns refuse to entertain anything other than complete authenticity. Number 11, they despise fake compliments and empty flattery. Capricorns are hard workers. They know what it takes to succeed, and they take pride in their accomplishments. So when someone throws them an empty compliment just to be nice, they see right through it. They don't need or want false praise. They'd rather hear constructive criticism than meaningless words. If they did a great job, they want to be recognized for their actual effort, not just because someone is trying to be polite. And if they could improve, they'd rather someone tell them straight up than sugarcoat it. This is also why they rarely give out fake compliments themselves. If a Capricorn tells you they admire something about you, believe them. It's real. They don't say things just for the sake of it. Number 12, they don't waste time on small talk if it doesn't feel real. Capricorns are selective about who they talk to and what they talk about. They're not the type to engage in meaningless chit-chat just to fill the silence. If they're having a conversation, they want it to be genuine, deep, and productive. This doesn't mean they can't be social. They absolutely can. But they prefer real conversations over surface-level interactions. They don't enjoy discussing things that don't matter just to be polite. If someone constantly talks in circles or avoids real topics, a Capricorn will eventually check out. This is especially true when it comes to friendships. Capricorns want meaningful connections with people they can trust. If a person only talks about shallow things and never opens up, Capricorn won't feel a real bond with them. Number 13, they would rather be alone than surrounded by liars. Capricorns are independent by nature. They don't need a huge social circle to feel validated. In fact, they'd rather have a small, loyal group of real friends than be surrounded by a bunch of people they can't trust. This means that if they sense dishonesty in their social circle, they have no problem cutting people off, but they don't like confrontation, so they might not make a big scene about it. But if they notice someone lying, gossiping, or being fake, they'll simply stop engaging. They believe that loyalty and trust are non-negotiable. If someone betrays their trust once, they'll be cautious. If it happens twice, they're done. Capricorns don't believe in giving unlimited chances to people who don't deserve them. Number 14, they don't pretend to like people just to be polite. Some people fake smiles and pretend to like everyone just to keep the peace. Capricorns, not a chance. If they don't vibe with someone, they won't be rude, but they also won't pretend to be best friends. They're polite but distant with people they don't trust or respect. They won't go out of their way to be friendly if they don't feel it's genuine. This isn't about being mean. It's about being authentic. Capricorns don't believe in wasting energy on relationships that don't feel real. They prefer to invest their time in people they truly connect with. Number 15, they hold others to the same high standards of truth they set for themselves. Capricorns don't just demand honesty from themselves. They expect it from others too. They live by a strict moral code, and they assume the people around them should do the same. This means they have zero tolerance for people who lie, cheat, or manipulate. If a Capricorn trusts you, it's because they believe you have integrity. But the moment you show them otherwise, that trust is broken, and it's almost impossible to repair. They believe that honesty is the foundation of every strong relationship. If someone can't meet their standards, they won't hesitate to distance themselves. They would rather have one true friend than 10 people they can't rely on. Capricorns are naturally cautious when it comes to trusting others. But when they do trust someone, they expect that trust to be mutual. And once that trust is broken, it's incredibly difficult to earn it back. To a Capricorn, honesty isn't just about being truthful with others. It's a reflection of personal strength and maturity. They don't see honesty as an optional virtue or something to practice only when it's convenient. Instead, they believe that being honest is a sign of self-respect, accountability, and emotional intelligence. Capricorns have zero patience for immaturity, and in their eyes, dishonesty is one of the most immature traits a person can have. They associate lying with weakness, whether it's someone trying to avoid responsibility, escape consequences, or manipulate a situation. To them, strong people don't need to lie because they are secure enough to own their truth. This is why Capricorns naturally gravitate toward people who are straightforward and responsible. They respect those who can face reality, admit when they're wrong, and handle difficult conversations without hiding behind dishonesty. Let's break down why Capricorns connect truthfulness with emotional and personal growth. Number 16, they believe honesty builds character for Capricorn. Integrity is everything. They believe that being honest, especially when it's difficult, makes a person stronger. In their mind, every time someone chooses truth over deception, they are proving their strength. It's easy to lie to avoid conflict, to shift blame, or to make things seem easier than they are. But Capricorns don't believe in taking the easy way out. They see challenges as opportunities to grow, and they know that personal growth can't happen if you're not willing to be real with yourself and others. This is why Capricorns hold themselves and the people around them to high standards. They don't expect perfection, but they do expect accountability. They believe that being truthful, even when it's uncomfortable, shapes a person's character and earns them long-term respect. Number 17, they don't make excuses. If they mess up, they admit it. Some people will twist the truth, blame others, or try to justify their mistakes just to avoid looking bad. Capricorns, never. They believe that owning up to your actions is the only way to move forward. If they make a mistake, they don't waste time making excuses. Instead, they take responsibility, learn from it, and find a solution. This is why Capricorns tend to succeed in both personal and professional life. They don't dwell on failure, they don't shift blame, and they don't hide from reality. They know that taking responsibility is a sign of true leadership. At the same time, they expect the same level of honesty from others. If someone constantly avoids blame or refuses to admit when they're wrong, Capricorn will quickly lose respect for them. Number 18, they don't fear consequences because they stand by their choices. Capricorns are strategic thinkers. They don't make reckless decisions, and when they commit to something, they do so with full awareness of the risks and rewards. Because of this, they are rarely afraid of the consequences of their actions. Even when things don't go as planned, Capricorns own their choices. They believe that if you make a decision, you should be prepared to deal with the outcome, whether good or bad. This is another reason why they don't see the need to lie. If they made a choice, they stand by it. If they were wrong, they'll admit it and adjust. They don't run from reality. This level of self-assurance can be intimidating to others. People who are used to making excuses or avoiding accountability might find Capricorns too serious or too strict. But in reality, Capricorns just have a deep sense of responsibility, both to themselves and to the people around them. Number 19, they avoid drama because truth is simple, while lies create chaos. Capricorns are not interested in drama. They don't like gossip, they don't engage in unnecessary arguments, and they definitely don't waste time dealing with people who constantly twist the truth. They see honesty as the simplest way to avoid chaos. When you're truthful, you don't have to remember what you said last time. You don't have to keep up with fake stories. You don't have to worry about things spiraling out of control. This is why Capricorns distance themselves from toxic situations. If a group of people is constantly involved in lies, gossip, or petty conflicts, Capricorn will quietly remove themselves. They would rather focus on meaningful relationships and productive conversations than waste time on unnecessary drama. Number 20, they trust people who take responsibility for their words. To Capricorn, words mean something. They don't say things lightly, and they expect others to be just as mindful about what they say. If someone constantly changes their story, breaks promises, or says things they don't mean, Capricorn will immediately lose trust in them. They believe that your word should reflect your values. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you make a promise, keep it. If you have something to say, mean it. This level of integrity is rare, but Capricorns live by it every single day. Because of this, they don't believe in surrounding themselves with people who are all talk and no action. They want to be around real, reliable, and responsible individuals. People who understand that honesty isn't just about what you say, but about how you live. Capricorns don't just practice honesty, they expect it. They believe that being truthful is a sign of emotional maturity, strength, and responsibility. But their sincerity doesn't stop there. Capricorns are not the type of people to talk just for the sake of talking. Unlike some signs that thrive on constant conversation and open emotional expression, Capricorns are selective with their words. They think before they speak, and when they do decide to say something, they make sure it carries weight. This reserved nature doesn't mean they're cold or uninterested. It actually makes their honesty even more powerful. Because they don't waste words, when they do speak, people listen. Their honesty isn't impulsive. It's measured, intentional, and deeply meaningful. Capricorns don't just say things on a whim. They believe that words have consequences, and they are careful about what they put into the world. This is why they rarely exaggerate, rarely overpromise, and never say things just to impress someone. Their sincerity isn't just about telling the truth. It's about making sure every word counts. Number 21, they don't waste words, so when they talk, people listen. Have you ever noticed that when a Capricorn speaks, people tend to stop and pay attention? That's because Capricorns don't flood conversations with unnecessary chatter. They observe, they analyze, and they only contribute when they have something valuable to say. This makes their words feel more meaningful and deliberate. People around them know that if a Capricorn is saying something, it must be important. Whether it's advice, an opinion, or a simple observation, Capricorns make sure their words are worth listening to. This is why they often command respect in both personal and professional settings. Their natural ability to speak only when necessary makes them seem wise, trustworthy, and authoritative. Number 22, they prefer actions over words. What they do is just as honest as what they say. Capricorns believe that words mean nothing if they aren't backed up by action. They live by the principle that what you do is more important than what you say. This is why they are careful about making promises. Unlike some people who throw around commitments without thinking, Capricorns only promise something if they are absolutely sure they can follow through. If they say they'll do something, they mean it. and they expect the same from others. This mindset applies to relationships, work, and even casual friendships. A Capricorn won't say, "I'll be there for you," and then disappear when things get tough. They won't say, "I'll help," and then leave you to handle everything on your own. Their actions reflect their honesty, and that's what makes them so dependable. Number 23, they rarely exaggerate or overpromise. In a world where people often embellish stories or make things seem bigger than they are, Capricorns stand out because of their straightforwardness. They don't see the need to exaggerate or add unnecessary drama to a situation. If a Capricorn says something was difficult, it was difficult. If they say they had a good day, it was actually a good day, not just an okay one. Their words are accurate, not inflated. This is why people trust them so much. When a Capricorn tells you something, you don't have to wonder if they're stretching the truth. You know that what they say is exactly how it is. Number 24, they believe silence is better than saying something untrue. Some people feel the need to speak constantly, even when they don't have anything meaningful to say. Capricorns, they're the opposite. They have no problem staying quiet if they don't have something truthful, useful, or relevant to add. They don't believe in speaking just to fill the silence, and they certainly don't believe in saying something just because it's what someone else wants to hear. This is why they can sometimes come across as reserved or distant, but in reality they are just being intentional with their words. To a Capricorn, silence is better than dishonesty, and they would rather say nothing than say something they don't fully believe. Number 25, they choose their words carefully, making their honesty even more impactful. Because Capricorns are so thoughtful about what they say, their honesty carries a unique weight. Unlike impulsive signs that blurt out the truth without thinking, Capricorns deliver honesty with precision. This means that when they tell you something, it's not just a random thought. It's something they have already analyzed, processed, and considered carefully. Their honesty is strategic, meant to provide clarity, guidance, or perspective. This makes their words memorable. When a Capricorn gives you advice, you remember it. When they tell you the truth, it sticks with you. Their honesty is powerful not because they talk all the time, but because when they do, it matters. Loyalty is one of the strongest traits of a Capricorn, but their loyalty is not given freely. It is earned. Unlike some signs that blindly stand by people no matter what, Capricorns are much more selective with their trust. When they commit to someone, whether it's in a friendship, relationship, or professional setting, they are in it for the long haul. However, that commitment is not unconditional. A Capricorn's loyalty is built on mutual honesty and respect. They expect those they stand by to be just as sincere as they are. If someone proves themselves to be genuine, reliable, and truthful, they will have Capricorn support for life. But if they show signs of dishonesty, manipulation, or inconsistency, Capricorn won't hesitate to distance themselves. Capricorns believe in quality over quantity when it comes to relationships. They don't need a large group of friends or constant social validation. Instead, they invest in a small, trustworthy circle, people who have proven they can be relied on. And because of this, their honesty plays a key role in their loyalty. Let's break down 5 reasons why Capricorns are some of the most devoted, but also the most cautious individuals in the zodiac. Number 26. They believe true loyalty means telling the truth, even when it's hard. Some people mistake loyalty for agreeing with everything someone says or going along with their decisions no matter what. Capricorns, they don't see it that way. To them, loyalty isn't about blindly supporting someone. It's about helping them grow. And sometimes that means telling them the hard truth. If a Capricorn sees someone they care about making a bad decision, they won't stay silent just to keep the peace. They will be honest, direct, and real, even if it means saying something the other person doesn't want to hear. This might make them seem harsh at times, but their honesty always comes from a place of care and responsibility. They would rather risk temporary discomfort than watch someone they love go down the wrong path. Number 27. They won't support bad decisions just to make you feel better. Capricorns are rational thinkers, and they expect the people around them to act with the same level of logic and responsibility. This means they have little patience for self-destructive behavior or emotional manipulation. If someone in their life is making bad choices and expects Capricorn to support them no matter what, they're in for a rude awakening. Capricorns will never encourage someone to continue down the wrong path just because they don't want to hurt their feelings. This doesn't mean they are unsympathetic, quite the opposite. They will offer solutions, give advice, and try to help. But what they won't do is lie to make someone feel better. They believe that real support comes from helping someone face the truth, not shielding them from it. Number 28, they expect the same honesty in return. If you lie to them, you lose their trust. Capricorns don't just practice honesty, they expect it. If they are giving you their full trust and loyalty, they need to know they are getting the same in return. Lying to a Capricorn is one of the fastest ways to lose them. It doesn't matter if it was a small lie or a big one. Once they catch someone being dishonest, that seed of doubt is planted. And once doubt enters the equation, Capricorns' trust never fully recovers. They believe that if someone truly values a relationship, they should be able to be completely honest, even if the truth is uncomfortable. They can handle difficult conversations, and they respect those who are upfront. What they can't handle is deception, manipulation, or hidden agendas. Number 29. They believe being real is more important than being nice. Some people prioritize keeping the peace over telling the truth. They'd rather avoid conflict by saying what others want to hear, even if it means being insincere. Capricorns? They don't operate that way. To them, being real is far more valuable than being nice. They would rather hurt someone with the truth than comfort them with a lie. This doesn't mean they are cruel or insensitive. They actually have deep compassion for the people they care about. But they believe that sugarcoating things only delays the inevitable. If a Capricorn tells you something, it's because they believe it will help you in the long run. Their honesty is not about being critical, it's about being constructive. Number 30, they won't betray their values, even for people they love. At the core of every Capricorn is a deep sense of self-respect and personal integrity. They live by a strong moral code and ache nothing, not friendships, relationships, or social pressure, will make them break it. Even when they love someone deeply, they won't compromise their values. They will support, protect, and stand by the people they care about. But they won't turn a blind eye to dishonesty or pretend to agree with something they don't believe in. This is why their loyalty is so powerful. Because when they commit to someone, you know it's real. There are no hidden motives, no fakeness, and no forced obligations. If a Capricorn chooses to stand by you, it's because they truly believe in you. Capricorns don't give their loyalty freely, but when they do, it's unshakable. Their honesty and integrity are what make them such reliable, trustworthy individuals. But at the end of the day, their sincerity isn't just about how they treat others, it's about how they live their own lives. Throughout this video, we have explored exactly why Capricorns are known for their honesty. But what makes their sincerity so powerful is that it is not just about telling the truth, it is about living it. Capricorns are not honest for attention, and they do not speak the truth just for the sake of being blunt. Their honesty is rooted in integrity, self-respect, and responsibility. They do not believe in saying things just to make people feel good. They do not tell half-truths or sugarcoat reality to avoid conflict. Instead, Capricorns value clarity, logic, and real solutions. This is why people trust them. When a Capricorn tells you something, you know it is well thought out, carefully considered, and meant to help, not harm. But what truly sets Capricorn's honesty apart is that it is intentional. Some signs speak before sinking, blurting out the truth in a way that can be reckless or hurtful. Capricorns, however, choose their words carefully. They know when to be direct and when to be tactful. They know when honesty will help a situation and when it is better to step back. This self-awareness is what makes their sincerity so respected. Capricorns also hold others to the same high standards they set for themselves. If they expect honesty, loyalty, and integrity in their own lives, they expect it from the people around them as well. This is why they do not waste time with fake friendships, shallow conversations, or dishonest relationships. They would rather have a small circle of trustworthy people than a large network of unreliable ones. At the end of the day, Capricorns do not just believe in telling the truth, They believe in living a life of honesty. Let's take a final look at what makes them one of the most sincere signs in the zodiac. They value integrity above everything and believe in doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. They see honesty as efficiency, knowing that truth is the fastest way to solve a problem. They have no patience for fake people and will immediately distance themselves from dishonesty. They view honesty as maturity, believing that responsible people should take ownership of their actions. They are naturally reserved, meaning their words carry more weight because they do not speak without purpose. They are loyal, but not blindly so, expecting trust to be earned and maintained through consistent honesty. Capricorns do not believe in temporary truths or convenient lies. They believe in truth as a foundation for relationships, for success, and for personal growth. They know that deception leads to chaos, while honesty creates stability. They do not chase popularity, and they do not say things just to gain approval. What they do with purpose, and that is why people respect them. This is where we want to hear from you. Are you a Capricorn? Do you recognize yourself in these traits? If so, what is the most honest thing you have ever told someone, even when it was difficult? Do you know a Capricorn? Have you ever been on the receiving end of their direct honesty? What was that experience like? Did it help you, surprise you, or even frustrate you? Or maybe you just admire Capricorn's honesty from a distance. Have you ever wished other signs were as straightforward and reliable as Capricorn? We want to hear real stories, real experiences, and real thoughts. This is your chance to share what you think about Capricorn's unique honesty, and we will be reading every single comment. Subscribe to Secret of the Zodiac if you want more deep dives into astrology, personality traits, and the hidden truths behind every zodiac sign. We are always bringing you the most insightful, thought-provoking content about the way astrology influences our lives. Like this video if you found it helpful, or if you learned something new about Capricorns today. Your support helps us continue making more content just like this. And make sure to turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. We have plenty of amazing topics coming up, and trust us, you do not want to miss them. Now scroll down to the comments and let us know your thoughts. Let's get a conversation started about why Capricorns are truly one of the most honest signs in the zodiac.